We thought they put this stuff behind them back at the end of April as we welcome you to Phillies Postgame Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance. Ricky Pitalico, Ben Davis, I'm Michael Barkan. This is right up there with one of the worst losses of the season. And the worst part about it, Ricky and Ben, it was mostly of their own doing. You've got, I'm just going to call them errors, whether they're mental or physical or whether it's on the score sheet as such or not. But you got Weston Wilson should have caught it. Trey Turner should have caught it. Edmundo Sosa should have gone home. That's the ball game.
You're absolutely 100% right. I mean, they probably should have won this game 2-1. They didn't hit. They haven't hit since Harper left. So that just goes to show what kind of team this actually is. Without Bryce Harper, I mean, everything seems to fall apart a little bit. Defensively, this team stinks today. They stunk. Isn't that what it really smelled? It didn't look good out there on the field. And you know what's odd? You come off a game that you got your butts kicked the night before, and you show up and play like this.
Yeah,
that's not right. You just can't do that. You have to come prepared to play the game of baseball and fundamentally play the game of baseball. Look at what the Brewers were. That team looks 10 times better than the Phillies do fundamentally.
And Ben, as the Phillies just coming off a light part of the schedule, the Mets are going through their light part of the schedule. They sweep out Colorado. Phillies lose. Mets win again. Phillies are now a full game behind the Mets as New York is in first place by itself in the National League East, followed by the Nationals, Braves, and Marlins. And this, as I said, you thought this stuff was behind them when they got swept by the Mets back at the end of April.
Yeah, you would think that, but they just didn't play well in this series. That's the bottom line, and it's something that they have to adjust. They have to. It's a shame that this is what happened today because Ranger pitched brilliantly. He was outstanding today, just a ton of ground balls, just filling the strike zone up. He was brilliant, but offense not coming through today again, and also obviously the defense really struggled today. And you hit the nail on the head, whether that be on the score sheet or not, about whether it's an error or not. Some of these plays need to be made.
Yeah, and thank you for mentioning Ranger Suarez because the guy did pitch brilliantly. His ERA goes down again, and we're overlooking that because of all the errors that took place that prevented him from getting another win. Seventh inning, this was key. Ranger Suarez is still in the game, and here's Durbin with a shot to left field. Weston Wilson starts on the ball.
Nice route. He took the roundabout, is what he did. I mean, you got to catch that ball. You're a major league left fielder, and by the way, he didn't just break in like 2 feet. He broke in like 15 feet and then realized the ball's over your head. How about getting a read off the bat and then playing the baseball? Major league outfielder has to have that ball. The Brewers wouldn't make that mistake.
The look of disgust.
Not really sure if I would have taken Ranger out.
I don't think so either. Orion Kirkering comes in there next. Ortiz flies out to right. So they got one out. Durbin stays at second base. And then here comes Terang up next.
I'm going to say something about Kirkering. I thought his slider was not good today. Okay, you could say, yes, he did get squeezed. This batter, it was actually just Terang that he got squeezed a little bit on. But what I saw today was this kind of a spinning slider that was staying over the middle of the plate with not much break, not much downhill movement. And, I mean, in certain times, if he can see what I mean? Yeah. That's not a good slider, and Turner's got to have that ball. That's a terrible play.
That ball. Also, we didn't mention on the play before, Sosa's got to go home with it. I know he thought there was a double play in store. Come on.
Let me ask you something.
Move him to second base, move Stott to short.
Right after this happens, you're not thinking something bad's going to happen.
Yeah, you knew
I
wasn't thinking it. I was pretty much sure of it. And then Jake Bowers comes up, first and second, 2 out. And from bad to worse, there's a 2-run double to right field. And 2 runs come in to score. It's 4-2. They only needed the 1. But what the heck?
You got to give the Brewers credit. Good ball clubs, they capitalize on other opponents' mistakes, and that's exactly what Bowers did here. A big pinch hit, 2-run double here for the Brew Crew, and that put them up 4-2 at the time. And that's a big hit, but you got to give the Brewers credit. They took advantage of the Phillies' mistakes, and that's what good ball clubs do.
You know what? Is it part of that just a mental thing when you've realized as a team, whether it's pitcher and Kirkering or anybody else, we just screwed something up, and it kind of lets your defenses down, and it just seems interesting.
I can answer for the pitcher. For the pitcher, you kind of see that ground ball go, and boom, the adrenaline rush leaves. So you kind of lose that little maybe added energy that you might have had like 5 seconds ago. You throw a good pitch, you get a ground ball, and you're like, all right, that's the inning, and then you see it getting booted all over the place. Yeah, you have to like mentally kind of establish yourself.
Yeah, you said Ricky, that you might have left Ranger Suarez in. Ben, would you have?
I thought he was throwing the ball great, but I do understand the matchups, and Rob Thompson's all about the matchups. And bottom line, taking him out right there worked. Ryan Kerkering did his job. It's just the defense had let him down. So he would have got out of that inning unscathed, leadoff double, but it goes down as such, and Kerkering does his job. It is what it is. But, yeah, I thought Ranger, what do you have? 97 pitches. So, yeah, it was probably time for him to go.
He was getting up there in pitches.
Yeah, Suarez, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 1 earned run, 2 total, 97 pitches. He had 2 strikeouts. You were going to say?
Yeah, I got to say that I got to give Quintana a little bit of credit here. This dude got smoked in the kneecap and stayed in the game.
We were up in the press box.
And by the way, you could hear it. And I mean, let me put it this way, 99.9% of the pitchers in the big leagues would have walked off that mound right there.
Yeah.
He stayed in there and pitched well.
Yeah, well.
They were better than the Phillies this whole series. Let's not sugarcoat this. The Phillies got outplayed by the Brewers in every single aspect.
But again, as we take a look at the box score, inside the box score, they weren't better than the Phillies today. The Phillies gave them this game. I'll give you 17-7 last night and 9 to whatever the night before. Ricky Bo, 4 games now. Last 4 games. 37-14, they've been outscored. That's an average 9-4 score.
Yeah.
An average 9-4 score.
There were 17 runs in
games.
one of those games.
Yeah.
I mean, and ironically, the position player didn't give up any of those runs. But, I mean, when you look at the board, you look at the box score, all you see is 1-1-1-1-1. You don't see any multi-hit guys. And the other thing is they had 1 extra base hit today, a double. 1.
Yeah.
Okay, and you could say all you want. The Phillies were 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. So they left ducks out there, didn't they?
They sure did. 8 left on base as well. What's Thompson got to say? Rob Thompson, the manager of the Phillies. Here he is postgame.
We can talk about the defense being a big part of why you've been so consistent. Especially to see all the miscues the last 2 days.
Yeah, it is, and I know they're working at it, but we got to clean it up, and we will. But it's been, a tough couple of days here.
7th inning specifically, just Wilson get a bad read on that ball?
Didn't see it off the bat, and then had to backtrack to it. Kind of took a little check mark route to it. And then, Kerkering did a good job getting out of it, and the ball rolled up Turner's arm. So we got to play better.
How did Harper come out of everything?
Good. He wasn't available today, but he feels like, or we feel like he's going to be ready for Tuesday.
How much do you think your defense has hurt you in the first 59 games of the season overall?
I'm sorry, Matt.
How much do you think your defense has hurt you as a team in the first 59 games overall?
I don't know how to put a number on it, but I think we played very well at times, and the last couple of days kind of stands out as not playing well. But I think we've improved over last year, and I think Trey's played a lot better this year than he did last year. So he's improving. So I don't know how to put a number on it, but it looks bad right now because of the last 2 days.
In the 6th inning, Wilson bats against the righty. I know they have other lefties there. Is that, even if you bring in defense with Kepler, is that why you don't pinch hit there?
Yeah, and there's a couple of things that I'm going to look back on over today's game and question myself over. So not only do we have to play better, but I have to manage better.
I think that spot right there specifically.
Now looking back on it, yeah.
Is there anything you can say to Trey after a play like that, or is it just one of those things?
Just one of those things. I know Bobby will talk to him, but I don't know what to tell him because it's kind of a routine ground ball, and he knows that he's got to make the play.
How disappointing is it to have it go that way? You mentioned Kerkering, but also the way Rangers throwing the ball right now.
Yeah, it's a disappointing loss. Get swept at home, which doesn't happen very often, and we got to go on the road, get a day off tomorrow, and clear our heads, and got Wheeler on Tuesday. So we got to keep moving forward, but we got to clean some stuff up.
Toyota, electrifying moment comes in the 7th inning off the bat of Jake Bauers. The score is now tied at 2. Bauers is up with runners on first and second. 2 outs facing Orion Kerkering, and he perfectly places it.
It's a slider that stays up in the zone for a lefty. I mean, that's a good pitch to hit for a lefty, actually, unless you're going for that back foot. He left it out over the middle of the plate. Bauers didn't miss it. The whole irony of this, Bauers only played because Yelich got hit by a pitch.
That's right. Haas came in to pinch hit. Bauers pinch hit for Haas, and he ends up plating the winning runs with that RBI double. All right, let's talk a little bit about Ranger Suarez. He's the eye on the mound, presented by PGW Energy for all of us. And Ranger was absolutely amazing today.
He kept the ball down. The strange thing is he didn't get ahead of a lot of hitters, but what he did do is he kept the ball down with movement. What happens when that happens? You get ground balls. You don't make ground balls yet? You want to guess? That's a really good guess because you nailed it on the head. And
Good job, Michael.
That's what baseball should be about. You should think about trying to get them to hit the ball into the ground. Once you do that, you did your job, and Ranger did a hell of a job with getting his 12 ground ball outs today. Very impressive.
You know what you had today, and this is kind of refreshing to watch? You had 2 left-handers on the mound that maybe topped out at 91, maybe. Ranger's velocity was down about 1.5 miles today on his fastball. But you had 2 lefties on the mound today that threw 11 innings and gave up 3 earned runs.
Yeah.
You know, that's unbelievable. And you had 3 strikeouts for Quintana and 2 for Rangers. So only 5 strikeouts between the 2 of them. But yet they put their team in the best position to win. Obviously, Quintana, he only threw 82 pitches. I probably came out because of that knee, getting smoked on that knee. But 2 guys that just, the pitchers, this whole thing out on the mound, his whole idea is to throw off the hitter's timing. And that's exactly what these 2 guys did today. They just mixed and matched and added and subtracted, and it was very refreshing to watch.
Ranger Suarez.
So nice seeing him missing that many barrels.
He came in at 4-0, should have left going out 5-0, gets the no decision. His ERA coming in was 2.97. Once you get around there, it's tough to lower your ERA each and every outing, yet there he goes. 2.72. He had come in his last 4 or 5 starts with an ERA of 1 after that rough start in his debut.
Well, the thing is, I mean, when you think about it, he had a rough start to start things, but he's still in that mode where he can lower his ERA. Yeah. I mean, granted, you said it's already low, but I mean, he's still got a minimal amount of innings pitched, so if he could load up, 9 or 10 scoreless, it's going to go way down.
Let's go to the clubhouse now. We check in with Ranger Suarez on his outing.
Ranger, how'd you feel physically today? It looked like the velocity wasn't quite there, but how'd you feel physically?
¿Cómo te sentiste físicamente?
Bien, son uno de esos días que es lo que tienes, ¿ves? Y era mi 100% hoy. Solo traté de localizar todos mis picheos, comandar mis picheos y mira, se dio.
I feel good. Like it's only one of those days when that's all you get. But it's just one of those days, and that was my 100% today. But outside of that, I tried to look at my pitches, and it ended up working well for us, right?
How frustrating is it to have that first batter in the 7th reach on a play that probably should be made and then watch the lead disappear in the dugout?
Qué tan importante fue ver en el 7º inning que se envasara el primer bateador en esa jugada. Tal vez se puede haber hecho y luego como perdimos el liderato del juego en ese inning.
Yo creo que si yo fuera localizado el picheo, estuvo medio a medio. Yo creo que fuera hecho ese resultado. Solo desde el picheo hangueado le pegó bien. Yo creo que todo fue culpa mía.
Yeah, I think that had I looked at the pitch a little better, the outcome could have been different, right? But it ended up being like middle, and I hung it there, and he hit it well. So it's I think it's on me on not locating better that particular pitch.
Ranger Suarez, I'm not putting anything on you today. I know you gave up one earned run and the other one was unearned, but you pitched well enough to actually have a shutout today, for goodness sake.
He did. He pitched great today. There's no shame in what he did today.
When you go to the mound in the 7th inning and he gets pulled, you can see there's just this look on his face like, I cannot believe this is happening after the way we have played to this point, the way certainly I have pitched to this point. He's kind of looking off. Topper comes out, he gives him the ball, and if looks could speak. Look at that. Now, are you kidding
He looks
me?
dejected. Yeah.
Yeah, he looks disgusted.
You get a
I
fly ball
can't
to left,
believe
you
this.
expect it to be caught.
And also, he knows that runner on second base is his, and he would probably like to, preserve it. Obviously, Ryan Kirkman did preserve it. It's just, again, the defense had let him down.